It was the kind of friendship that seemed harmless. A trusted family friend always around to lend a hand, share a laugh, or watch the kids. In Whiteville, Tennessee, Adam Christopher Mays was just Adam, someone the Bain family thought they knew. But on a warm April night in 2012, that trust was shattered in the most horrific way imaginable. In the stillness of the early hours, Mays crept into the Bain home. What happened next would change the lives of everyone connected to the family, forever. Joanne Bain and her 14-year-old daughter Alexandria were brutally killed. The crime didn't end there. Mays took the two youngest daughters, Adrienne, 12, and Kalia, just 8 years old, vanishing into the night. When investigators searched Mays's property in Mississippi, they made a grim discovery: the bodies of Joanne and Alexandria buried in the backyard. With the two remaining children still missing, the case exploded into a nationwide manhunt. Adam Mays's face appeared on every news channel, plastered across most wanted posters, his name added to the FBI's 10 most wanted list. For over a week, Mays evaded capture, hiding in the dense woods with the terrified girls, as law enforcement closed in. Each passing day brought more fear. Would they find the children alive, or would this end in more tragedy? On May 10, 2000, the standoff reached its end. Surrounded by officers, Mays made his final choice, a single gunshot echoing through the trees. The girls were rescued shaken, but alive. This is the story of Adam Mays, the family aka Paco Rodriguez. Classification: murderer. Characteristics: kidnapping. Mays was in love with Alexandria, 12, and feared losing her because the family was moving to Arizona. Number of victims: 2. Date of murder: April 27, 2012. Date of birth: September 2, 1976. Victim profile: Joanne Bain, 31, and her eldest daughter Adrienne. 14. Method of murder: strangulation with a rope. Suffocation location: Whiteville, Hardeman County, Tennessee, USA. Status: committed suicide by shooting himself on May 10, 2000. The Bain murder kidnappings involved the murder of a woman and her eldest daughter in Whiteville, Tennessee on April 27, 2012, and the concurrent kidnapping of the woman's two younger daughters by suspect Adam Christopher Mays, an Alpine, Mississippi man who had known the family for many years. Mays disappeared a few days after the mother and daughters disappeared, prompting his name to be added to the FBI 10 most wanted fugitives on May 9, 2012, having replaced James Whitey Bulger on the list. On May 10th, he and the two girls were spotted in a heavily wooded area outside Alpine. During the capture attempt, Mays reportedly shot himself in the head and later died from his wounds. The two girls were rescued unharmed. Mays's wife, Teresa, was charged with first-degree murder and especially aggravated kidnapping, a Tennessee-specific statute for her part in the murder kidnapping. Mays's mother, Mary, was charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. Both were held in Hardeman County Jail. On August 9, 2013. In a plea bargain agreement, Teresa Mays pleaded guilty to 2 counts of second-degree murder and 2 counts of especially aggravated kidnapping, and was sentenced to 35 years minus the 460 days she had already spent in prison. Mary Mays pleaded guilty to 2 counts of especially aggravated kidnapping and was sentenced to 13.5 years. The plea bargain obviated the need for a trial. Background of perpetrators: Adam Christopher Mays. September 2, 1976, May 10, 2012, was the youngest of 6 children of Johnny and Mary Frances Mays. He and his wife Teresa lived with his parents in a mobile home in Alpine, Mississippi. Mays's mother-in-law, Josie Tate, stated that she had repeatedly called police to complain about domestic violence committed by Mays against his wife Teresa. She described him as violent and controlling. Mays's sister described him as aggressive and untrustworthy, but never thought he would commit such a serious crime. For many years, Mays was friendly with the Bain family of Whiteville, Tennessee. Joanne Bain was the mother of 3 daughters: Adrienne, Alexandria, 1999, and Kylia, Bald, 2004. Her first husband, Mark Johnson, the biological father of Adrienne and Alexandria, signed over his legal rights to the girls to Joanne's second husband, Gary Bain, in 2011. Gary Bain had previously been married for 20 years to Adam Mays's eldest sister, Pamela. They divorced in 2002. Mays was a frequent visitor to the Bain house and had a friendly relationship with the Bain girls. According to his mother-in-law, Mays likely believed that he was the father of the 2 younger girls. Murders and kidnapping. On April 27, 2012, a day before Mays was supposed to help the Bain family move to Arizona, Mays allegedly killed Joanne Bain and her oldest daughter, Adrienne, and kidnapped the 2 younger girls, Alexandria and Kylia. Bain's husband came home late that night and assumed his family members were sleeping. He did not see them the next day. Only when he could not reach his wife by cell phone and his daughters did not return from school did he report them missing. Mays was interviewed by police officers about the Bains' disappearance on April 29th. He told police he was the last to see the mother and daughters, but police found no evidence of a crime. On April 30th, Joanne Bain's SUV was found abandoned on a country road in Tennessee. Mays was last seen in Guntown, Mississippi on May 1st. On May 8th, he was declared a person of interest in the case, though police still did not suspect a crime. On or around May 4th, Teresa Mays reportedly told police that she had seen her husband kill Joanne and Adrienne in the Bains' garage, and afterwards, she drove him the bodies and the 2 younger girls back to Alpine, where he allegedly buried the bodies behind his mobile home. On May 5th, investigators uncovered 2 badly decomposed bodies from a shallow grave behind the mobile home. They were identified as the bodies of Joanne and Adrienne on May 7th. By May 8th, both Mays' wife Teresa and mother Mary Frances Mays were charged as accomplices and taken into custody. Mays was added to the FBI's most wanted list on May 9th. He was charged with unlawful flight to avoid prosecution, especially aggravated kidnapping and first-degree murder, recovery, and death. Mays and the 2 girls were missing for over a week when on May 10th, acting on a tip, Mississippi Highway patrolmen and state fish and wildlife officers searched a heavily wooded area behind the Zion Hill Baptist Church 1.5 miles from Mays' home in Alpine. Officers saw one of the children peeking over a ridge, then spotted the second child, then saw Mays. The officers told him to put his hands up. He raised only one hand, and officers saw a gun in the other. Mays then shot himself in the head with the 9mm pistol. The Union County Sheriff said emergency medical technicians transported Mays via ambulance to Baptist Memorial Hospital, New Albany, Mississippi, in critical condition. The county coroner pronounced Mays dead at 8:20 p.m. When police found the trio on May 10th, the girls had been in the forest for 3 days without food or water. They were dehydrated and had rashes from poison ivy and insect bites. After Mays's death, the girls were sent to a Memphis hospital, treated and released. Mays's mother-in-law, Josie Tate, stated that Mays had taken the coward's way out. Mays's wife, Teresa, has been charged with murder and kidnapping and may face the death penalty. Tate claims that Adam had coerced and brainwashed the intellectually challenged Teresa into abetting his crimes. Mays' body, after being left unclaimed and refused by family members, was donated to the University of Tennessee in Knoxville's Body Farm in June 2012. On July 30th, 2015, the FBI announced that it had paid out reward money to several individuals for information leading to the capture of Mays. Legal proceedings. On May 21st, the charges against May's mother, Mary, were changed from 4 counts of conspiracy to commit especially aggravated kidnapping to 2 counts of especially aggravated kidnapping. Investigators believe that she confined the 2 girls after her son and his wife drove them from their Tennessee home to the Mays, Mississippi home. The court ordered a psychological evaluation of both Mary and Teresa Mays and rescheduled their first hearing for June 19th. On October 1, 2000, Teresa Mays appeared in a Hardeman County General Sessions Court hearing, while a statement that she had given to the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation during her husband's disappearance in May was read to the court. In the statement, Teresa claimed that Adam had planned the kidnappings and murders a year in advance due to his romantic interest in Alexandria Bain, age 12. Adam sold his motorcycle to pay for the kidnapping and forced Teresa to remain hidden in their car during 2 aborted attempts to kidnap Alexandria and her younger sister Kalila on April 25 and 26, 2012. On the night of April 26th, Adam attempted to kill the girl's father, Gary Bain, by giving him 2 tequila sunrise cocktails laced with Visine and other prescription drugs. After Gary and his wife Joanne had gone to sleep, Adam, who had a key to the Bain house, entered the couple's bedroom, woke up Joanne, and told her to come out to the shop by the house because Kalila was sleepwalking. Once in the shop, Adam hit Joanne with a board and strangled her with a rope. Afterwards, he smothered Adrienne, age 14. He told Teresa to drive around with the 2 younger girls, Alexandra and Kalila. Afterwards, they drove the 2 girls and the 2 corpses to Guntown, where Adam buried the bodies in his mother's backyard. Following Teresa Mays's and Mary Mays's court appearances on October 1st, the judge sent their cases to a grand jury scheduled to convene on January 10th. On August 9th, the 2 women were sentenced in conjunction with a plea bargain that will obviate the need for a trial. Teresa Mays was sentenced to 35 years, and her mother-in-law, Mary Mays, to 13.5 years for their parts in the kidnappings and murders. October 2, 2012. Bolivar, Tennessee. A Mississippi man's infatuation with a 12-year-old Tennessee girl led him to plot her abduction for a year and kill her mother and sister, according to testimony in court Monday. The abduction of the girl and another sister, along with the killings, spurred a manhunt through rugged, hilly Mississippi terrain for several days in the spring. The search ended when 35-year-old Adam Mays fatally shot himself. May 10th, as authorities closed in on him in the northern Mississippi woods. 12-year-old Alexandria Bain and another sister who'd been kidnapped, 8-year-old sister Kalila, were rescued. Little has been known about the motive behind the kidnappings and slayings before Monday, when Mays's wife and mother appeared in court on charges that they helped him with the crimes. Mays' wife. Teresa Mays has pleaded not guilty to charges of murder and especially aggravated kidnapping, and her mother-in-law, Mary Frances Mays, has pleaded not guilty to especially aggravated kidnapping. A statement by Teresa Mays was read in court by Tennessee Bureau of Investigation Special Agent Valerie Trout. Adam Mays was friends with the Bain family and was at their Whiteville 10 home on April 27th. Teresa Mays told investigators that she took the 2 younger girls on a drive, and when she returned with them, her husband had 2 bodies wrapped in tarps. The bodies of Joanne Bain and her daughter Adrienne Fartouri were found several days later, buried at the Mays home in Guntown, Miss. Teresa Mays told authorities her husband said he hit Joanne Bain in the head with a board, strangled her with a rope, and smothered Adrienne. He also claimed to have drugged Gary Bain, the husband and father of the family, to ensure he couldn't stop the attack. Teresa Mays occasionally wiped tears from her eyes while Trout read the statement. Hardeman County General Sessions. Judge Chip Carey ordered the cases sent to a grand jury that will consider indictments in January. The statement read in court provided the first explanation of how the Bains were killed and offered details into Adam Mays' motive. Teresa Mays said in the statement that her husband was in love with Alexandria and feared losing her because the family was moving to Arizona. Adam said he couldn't live without her. Teresa Mays was quoted as saying, "I think that is why he initiated his plan." TBI Special Agent Kathy Ferguson addressed claims that Adam Mays thought one of the girls was his, testifying, "We found no evidence to suggest that Adam was the father of any of the children." Teresa Mays told investigators in her statement that the couple first tried to kidnap the girls April 25th while they waited for the school bus, but arrived too late and missed them. The couple remained in Whiteville, with Adam Mays visiting the family, while his wife hid in their Dodge Durango under blankets for 2 days, eating only pickles, according to the statement. Adam Mays threatened to kill his wife if she didn't help him, the statement said. On April 27th, Adam Mays entered the Bain home with his key and gave Gary Bain a tequila sunrise cocktail mixed with Visine and prescription drugs, the statement said. Teresa Mays said her husband told her he then killed Joanne Bain, who struggled and scratched his neck, and her oldest daughter, the statement said. Adam Mays told his wife that Alexandria didn't want to live in Arizona, and they had talked more than a year ago about him taking her away from her family, according to Teresa Mays' statement. Kalia began crying as Teresa Mays drove her away from the home, the statement said. Alex was telling Kalia to calm down, that she was going to be Kalia's new mom, and Adam was going to be her new dad, the statement said. The couple then drove to Guntown with the bodies and the surviving girls, and Adam Mays buried the bodies in their backyard with a borrowed shovel, the statement said. Adam acted proud of himself, like he had accomplished his plan, the statement said. Adam Mays disappeared into the woods with Alexandria and Kalia sometime after May 1st. A statement his mother gave to FBI agents, which was read in court, said he packed bags before leaving. To 2012. CNN. Adam Mays, accused of murder and kidnapping in a case involving a Tennessee mother and her 3 daughters, has died, FBI spokesman Joel Siskovich said late Thursday. The 2 sisters he allegedly kidnapped were found alive, law enforcement sources said. There had been conflicting reports about whether Mays was dead or alive after he reportedly shot himself in Union County, Mississippi. Daniel McMullen, FBI special agent in charge in Jackson, Mississippi, said that officers with the Mississippi Highway Safety Patrol and State Department of Fisheries, Wildlife, and Parks rescued Alexandria and Kalia Bain, alive and unharmed. Preliminary reports indicate that Mr. Mays shot himself in the head and was later pronounced dead, McMullen told reporters. The 2 surviving sisters are suffering from the experience of being out in the woods and from being kidnapped. They are suffering from dehydration and exhaustion, but appear okay, a federal law enforcement source on the scene told CNN. Mays, 30, was suspected of abducting Alexandria and Kalia 8 from their Whiteville, Tennessee home in late April and killing Joanne Bain and her eldest daughter, Adrienne Fort. The FBI on Wednesday put Adam Mays on its list of 10 most wanted fugitives. The reward for information leading to Mays' arrest stood at $175,000. On Thursday, authorities responded Thursday evening after someone called to report what they believed may have been Mays' vehicle, a law enforcement source close to the investigation said. A task force was nearby, and as they approached, Mays stood up and shot himself in the head, the source said. The 2 girls were not near him at the time. Mays and his wife, Teresa Mays, had been charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder and 2 counts of especially aggravated kidnapping. He faced an additional count of making a false report, according to arrest affidavits filed in Tennessee. Adam Mays' mother-in-law told HLN's Nancy Grace on Thursday that he may have believed he was the father of the 2 young girls he was accused of abducting. He believes they are his children, Josie Tate told Grace. Tate, who lives in Chatsworth, Georgia, tearfully pleaded for Mays to return Alexandria and Kelia Bain and turn himself in. "You've had a chance to live life." "They haven't," Tate said. "Give them that chance." Police said Teresa Mays told them she was in the Bains' garage when Adam Mays killed Joanne and Adrian Bain. Teresa Mays' lawyer, Shauna Johnson, said Thursday that her client last saw Mays and the Bain girls in Mississippi on April 27th. The Mays family and the Bain family are connected through Adam Mays' sister Pamela, who used to be married to Joanne's husband Gary Bain, the lawyer said. Johnson told HLN she was happy and relieved the girls had been found alive. In affidavits, investigators said the Mayeses drove the bodies of Joanne and Adrian Bain to Union County in northern Mississippi, where they were discovered Saturday in a shallow grave behind the house of Adam Mays' mother in Guntown, Mississippi. Adam Mays' mother, Mary Frances Mays, has been charged with 4 counts of conspiracy to commit especially aggravated kidnapping. Adam Mays was last seen May 1st in Guntown. While the search was centered around his hometown, he also had connections to Arizona, Texas, Florida, and the Carolinas, the FBI said. Bobby Booth Mays' sister-in-law told CNN's Anderson Cooper on Thursday night that she's overwhelmed right now. "All I'm thinking about now is that the children are safe," said Booth. "Thank you, God, for letting those children come home." Booth described Adam Mays as a gwabwasi. Aggressive, abusive, crazy, obviously. But Booth said she never had an inkling Mays would be accused of kidnapping and murder. "I never dreamed that he would do this," she said, May 7, 2012. Guntown, Miss, the bodies of a Tennessee mother and her oldest daughter, were found behind an alleged kidnapper's house in North Mississippi, the FBI said Monday, and authorities believe the woman's 2 other daughters are still with the man accused in their abduction. Joanne Bain and her 3 daughters disappeared April 27th as the family was packing to move to Arizona. The bodies of Bain and her 14-year-old daughter Adrienne Bain were found behind Adam Mays' house near Guntown, a rural area police have been searching. The bodies were discovered late last week and positively identified. The FBI did not say how the 2 died. The FBI said it believed the other daughters, 12-year-old Alexandria and 8-year-old Kelia, were still with Mays. The agency did not say in a news release why it thought that, and FBI spokesman Joel Siskovich said no further details were available on the bodies or the search for Mays and the girls. Mays, a longtime friend of Bain's husband, had stayed over at the family's house to help them pack and load a U-Haul to drive across the country to Arizona, authorities said. Gary Bain, who was at the house that night, awoke to find his wife, daughters, and Mays gone. He couldn't reach his wife on her cell phone that day and reported them missing when the girls didn't get off the school bus. Mays was last seen a week ago in Guntown, about 80 miles south of the Bain family's home in Whiteville 10. Authorities talked to Mays early on in the investigation, but he fled when they tried to contact him again, Siskovich said. Both Gary Bain and Mays were once married to Sisters Tennessee Bureau of Investigation spokeswoman Kristen Helm said. Joanne Bain's Facebook page showed in the days before the 4 disappeared, she was packing and working on homework. Her last post, dated April 26, said, "A good venting always makes you feel better." It didn't say why she was venting. Joanne Bain's aunt hoped her niece and the girls were safe. "I pray for Joanne and the girls to be okay, and for them to come home," said Beverly Goodman, who works at Whiteville City Hall. She said her niece was not the type of woman to run off with someone. Goodman expressed frustration that the authorities didn't issue an Amber Alert sooner. "What would it have hurt to put an Amber Alert out?" Goodman said. "They might have saved a couple of lives." Linda Kirkland, a family friend and cook at the Country Cafe in Whiteville, said Joanne Bain and her daughters were moving because 2 of the girls had asthma. "Joanne and the kids, everyone loves them. We're just hoping to hear that they're safe," she said. Mays also has ties to Arizona, Texas, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Florida. He may be using the aliases of Christopher Zachary Wilde or Paco Rodriguez, the FBI said. Adam Mays will never stand trial. His final act, a single pull of the trigger, denied the courts the chance to hear every detail of his crimes. But for the Bain family, the nightmare did not end with his death. 2 children returned home without their mother and sister, carrying scars no one can see. In the quiet of Whiteville and across Mississippi, people still remember the man they thought they knew. The neighbor who smiled, joked, and hid a monster behind his eyes. The graves of Joanne and Alexandria remain as silent witnesses to a betrayal so deep it defies understanding. And while Adam Mays is gone, the shadow of his crimes lingers, a haunting reminder that sometimes the greatest dangers are not strangers at all, but the ones we trust the most.